Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The world is like a neighborhood, or like a business, or like a simple society made out of units called countries. And countries are made out of smaller units, which are obviously human beings, their tribe, their population. And you can tell in the neighborhood, or at school, or in a business, place of work, what the atmosphere, what the environment is. If it's an open environment, if it's an egalitarian environment, or it is an oppressive environment where people keep to themselves, or they're afraid to speak out, or they're afraid to criticize this person, but they're not afraid to criticize this one. We see if, people gang against others and the other ones have to defend themselves against these ones, or is simply an welcoming society. Imagine all the people living in this beep beep. Okay, enough with that garbage. So the same thing is with the world. We have countries. Look at each and every country as an individual, as a person, and you're going to realize immediately that there are certain individuals on this planet, certain countries, that really stick their noses wherever, and they impose their will on others, or they just lecture, moralize others. Why? Because they say they're better. And there's some countries invading, destroying other countries, and sometimes you see certain countries or one country that is forbidden to criticize or to touch even with a flower. So then if you see someone doing that to that particular victim, perpetual, eternal victim, then you might think, what's going on with this guy? How dares he or dares she to do such a thing? Well, that tells you that that person, that country, is independent, sovereign, and strong, and is not afraid of the connections behind the victim. So what happened here? We have here the wise, knowledgeable, ballsy, and very, very fast Maria Zakharova. Maria Zakharova is the Russian foreign minister's spokeswoman. She is very smart. I listened to some of her answers and statements, and I can't compare her with any other female counterpart from the Western world, or man counterpart for that matter, unfortunately for us. So she, in this article that I have here, smacks Israel's ambassador to Russia. Doesn't smack her like that, smacks her intellectually and dares to put her in her place. Or technically, literally, Zakharova is putting Israel in a certain position where Israel cannot shame Russia, cannot build guilt. So one of the big weapons available in the neighborhood is taken away. So what's going on here? Maria Zakharova smacks the Israeli ambassador to Russia because the Israeli ambassador to Russia, Simona, dares to call Russia out and tell Russia that you must denounce the attack, Iranian attack on Israel. And Zakharova comes back with something and shuts Simona's mouth. Let me show you. Russia Today, the 14th of April 2024. Russia tells Israel to condemn Ukraine. You might think, what's the connection? Well, here's the story. Spokeswoman Maria Zakharova made a remark after West Jerusalem's envoy urged Moscow to denounce Iranian strikes. Moscow, India, China, they did not denounce. They said, this would lead to an escalation. Please stop. Don't go further than this. They didn't denounce. I covered that with India's foreign ministry, Dr. Jay Shankar. It was not he who said that, but his office. The same thing with the Russians and the Chinese. I think that they did not even bother. Oh, the cat is coming. Okay, so keep reading. Russia does not feel obliged to condemn Iran's missile and drone strikes on Israel on Saturday. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova has said. The diplomat explained that West Jerusalem has never denounced Ukraine's attacks on Russian civilians. Well, that worked just fine, I guess. According to Israeli estimates, Tehran's latest show of force involves hundreds of rockets. Pop. Now, a presumed Israeli airstrike hit Iran's consulate in Damascus. Is a presumed Israeli airstrike. On April 1st, killing 7 officials. Iranian media said it was the Israelis. In a post on her Telegram, you see here, India calls for immediate de-escalation amid Israel-Iran tensions. That's what they claim. That's all. In a post on her Telegram channel on Sunday, Zakharova addressed the Israeli ambassador to Russia, Simona Halperin, or Harpelin, however you want, Harpelin, from harp, Halperin, who had earlier told RIA Novosti that her country, which is Israel, expects, and I'm quoting, our Russian colleagues to condemn the unprecedented Iranian attack on Israeli territory. It's correct, it is unprecedented Iranian attack on Israeli territory. That's correct. Now, she expects. You know who expects of us? Our teachers, our parents, our bosses. They expect. I expect you to meet the deadline. I expect you Monday to have this investigation on my desk finalized, completed. I expect you to do this. I expect you to do your homework. I expect you to go and clean your room. You don't tell that to your parents. I expect you to give me money. I expect you, boss, to give me a raise. I expect you, teacher, to do my homework or shut up. You see? So who expects, it's kind of like, that's the way I see it. Now you can say this between friends. I expect her not to cheat on me. The same is vice versa, and it's an equal standpoint. I can see that too. But knowing the dynamics on this planet and giving the introduction I made, I don't think it's meant like that. My personal assessment. The Israeli envoy, let's read further. The Israeli envoy also expressed hope that Moscow would counter, quote unquote, Iran's attempts to destabilize the region. So Iran stabilizes the region. And she expressed hope. Zakharova responded. This is what Zakharova said, and brace yourselves. And I'm quoting, Simona, remind me of when Israel condemned even a single strike by the Kiev regime on Russian regions. You don't know, nor do I. End quote. What do you think? So, this is Zakharova's response. Simona, remind me of when Israel condemned even a single strike by the Kiev regime on Russian regions? You don't know, nor do I. End quote. The foreign ministry representative also cited, and I'm quoting, regular statements in support of Zelensky's actions on the part of Israeli officials. Well, what do you expect? I mean, it would be ugly for me to denounce Romania or make any negative comments about Romania being born there and being Romanian by genes. Well, I do, because I'm an a-hole, right? In another statement, remember, it was Aristotle. Aristotle, I don't know, it was asked by a weasel, tried to catch him. They were weasel then too. He asked Aristotle something about something that Plato said, some philosophical idea, and trying to catch Aristotle in the wrong, or trying to say, hey, do you dare to contradict your boss? or your boss, your fellow philosopher. But Aristotle was, listening to Plato. So remember, it was Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. That's the chronology. So Aristotle said, well, I love Plato, but I love truth more. So the same here. Well, I love that country, but I love truth more. That's why I can be burned on the stake. Now, I'm quoting again. We call on all parties involved to exercise restraint. We hope that regional states will solve existing problems through political and diplomatic means, the ministry added. Plus this regional states, that means the weasel countries, in this case, United States of America, Great Britain, France, and other, should get the fuck out. They are not part of the region. But hey, what do you expect? Like a neighborhood, like a business, like a school, like a classroom. Tensions between Israel and Iran and boom, boom, boom. So imagine that Romania, since we are talking about Romania, or I was, were you too? Let's say Romania did not condemn Iran's attacks, which I'm pretty sure they did, reflexively. And let's say Israel's ambassador to Bucharest, to Romania, would tell the Romanians, I expect you to clean your room by 6 p.m. today. What do you think the Romanians will do? Now, if the Romanians think in a certain way and they agree, obviously they will say, yeah, okay, my bad. But remember, Russia did not do it because he said, you know what? You did not do it when we needed you. Now you ask me, reciprocity. So here is Maria Zakharova, and Maria Zakharova obviously is not making her own policy. That should tell us that Israel would not have the same, let's put it diplomatically and mildly and weaselly, influence on Russian politics, or Russian military, or Russian society, or Russian culture, or Russian economy, banks, and so on. All right, that's good. I like when countries are sovereign and independent, like Israel, like Russia, like India, like China, like North Korea, like Iran, like I think I'm done. Okay, my friends, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.